As the floodwaters raged through Millwood, young Liam risked his life to pull an elderly woman, Eleanor, from certain death. What seemed like a simple act of courage turned into something far more extraordinary when Eleanor's family appeared at his door the next day, bearing news that left Liam and his widowed mother stunned. Invited to a lavish dinner at their estate, Liam uncovered an offer that could transform his future and bring long-awaited relief to his struggling family. But as the night unfolded, another unexpected twist revealed just how life-changing this encounter would be, leaving Liam questioning if fate had orchestrated it all. The emotions, gratitude, and surprises that followed proved that one act of kindness can ripple into something far greater than imagined. But before we dive in, leave a comment and let us know where you are watching from today. And if this story speaks to you, hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories. The rain had been relentless for days, turning the once peaceful River Creek into a raging torrent. In the small town of Millwood, residents scrambled to higher ground as flood warnings blared through radios and phones. Among them was 17-year-old Liam Carter, a high school senior with a reputation for bravery that often bordered on recklessness. Liam lived in a modest house with his widowed mother, Sarah, who constantly worried about her son's tendency to leap into danger. That evening, as the floodwaters rose dangerously close to their home, Liam grabbed a rope and flashlight, ready to help anyone trapped in the chaos. "Liam, don't you dare go out there," Sarah pleaded, clutching his arm. "Mom, people need help." "I can't just sit here," Liam replied, determination glinting in his eyes. Reluctantly, Sarah let him go, her heart pounding as she watched her son disappear into the downpour. The streets of Millwood were unrecognizable, submerged in murky water carrying debris from broken fences, abandoned cars, and shattered dreams. Liam waded through waist-deep currents, calling out to anyone who might be stranded. "Help! Somebody, please!" A faint, feeble voice carried over the roar of the water. Liam's flashlight swept across the dark expanse, landing on an elderly woman clinging to the remnants of a toppled fence. Her gray hair was plastered to her face, and her frail arms trembled as she clung to the broken wood. Without hesitation, Liam plunged toward her, battling the current that threatened to pull them both under. "Hold on, ma'am. I'm coming," he shouted. Reaching her, he tied the rope around her waist and secured it to a nearby lamppost. "You'll be okay," he reassured her, though his own fear was palpable. The woman, Eleanor, looked up at him with wide, tearful eyes. I thought it was the end," she whispered. "Not on my watch," Liam replied with a faint smile. After what felt like an eternity, Liam managed to pull her to safety, dragging her to the shelter of an overpass where other survivors huddled. She clutched his hand tightly, her gratitude evident even through her exhaustion. "You're a brave young man," Eleanor said, her voice trembling but steady. "God bless you." When the rain finally stopped and the floodwaters began to recede, Millwood's residents emerged to assess the damage. Liam returned home exhausted, his clothes soaked and his body aching. Sarah embraced him tightly, scolding him for his recklessness while silently thanking God he was alive. "Liam, you've done enough. Rest now," she said firmly. But before he could protest, there was a knock at the door. Liam opened it to find a group of people standing on his porch. An older man in an expensive suit, a middle-aged woman in designer clothes, and Eleanor, now clean and composed but no less frail. "Eleanor?" Liam asked, surprised. "Liam," she said, stepping forward. "These are my children. I told them what you did for me." The older man extended his hand. "You're the young man who saved my mother. I'm Edward Langston." Liam froze. Everyone in Millwood knew the Langston name. They were one of the wealthiest families in the state, owning a chain of real estate developments and luxury hotels. "This is my sister, Rebecca," Edward continued, gesturing to the impeccably dressed woman beside him. "We can't thank you enough for what you've done." Liam stammered, unsure how to respond. I just did what anyone would have done." "Not everyone would risk their life like that," Rebecca said, her voice warm. "We owe you a debt we can never repay." Before Liam could process their gratitude, Edward cleared his throat. "We'd like to invite you and your mother to dinner at our estate tonight. It's the least we can do." Sarah, who had been eavesdropping, stepped into the doorway. "That's very kind, but we're just simple folks. We don't belong in a place like that." "Nonsense," Rebecca said, smiling. You saved our mother. You'll always belong. Despite their initial hesitation, Liam and Sarah agreed. That evening, they found themselves standing in awe before the Langston mansion, a sprawling estate with gleaming marble floors and chandeliers that seemed to stretch to the heavens. The house was alive with warmth and hospitality as the Langstons welcomed them inside. Sarah, usually reserved, found herself chatting easily with Rebecca, while Liam's eyes wandered around the opulent surroundings, a world far removed from his modest life. During dinner, the Langstons listened intently as Liam recounted his rescue, though he downplayed his heroism. Eleanor, seated beside him, occasionally squeezed his hand, her gratitude clear. As the evening wore on, Edward exchanged a glance with Rebecca before clearing his throat again. "Liam," he began, "there's something else we'd like to discuss." Liam's heart raced as he braced for what sounded like a formal proposition. Edward leaned forward, his expression serious yet kind. "My sister and I have been searching for someone like you. Someone brave, selfless, and determined. You see, I didn't just come to thank you today. I came to offer you an opportunity." "An opportunity?" Liam repeated, confused. Edward nodded. "We run a scholarship program for promising young people who embody the values we hold dear. Full tuition, living expenses, everything covered. After hearing my mother's story, we believe you're the perfect candidate." Liam's jaw dropped. College had always been a distant dream, something he'd fantasized about but never thought possible given his family's financial struggles. I don't know what to say," Liam stammered. "Say yes," Eleanor interjected, her eyes sparkling. "You deserve this." Overwhelmed, Liam accepted, his mind spinning with possibilities he had never dared to entertain. As the Langstons celebrated his decision, Eleanor pulled him aside. "There's more," she said softly. "More?" Liam asked, perplexed. "My family didn't want to overwhelm you, but Edward also wants to offer your mom a job. He owns a boutique hotel nearby and thinks she'd be perfect for the management team." Liam stared at her, speechless. His mother had worked tirelessly as a housekeeper for years, always sacrificing her dreams for his. "I don't know how to thank you," Liam said, his voice breaking. Eleanor smiled, her hand brushing his. "Just keep being the person you are. That's all the thanks we need." In the weeks that followed, Liam and his mother's lives transformed in ways they couldn't have imagined. Sarah thrived in her new role, and Liam prepared to attend college with a newfound sense of purpose. As Liam stood on the threshold of a bright future, he realized that sometimes the smallest acts of courage could lead to the most extraordinary surprises.